we are releasing our new software called the Titan Pro Slip Clutch Management Software. This is something that we've been working on in the background for probably almost 6 months now. And I'm really, really excited to get this thing out to the market and share it with you, because it will take your ability to predict what your vehicle was going to do on track, specifically with your clutch, to the next level. So what our software does, and we'll put up some overlay video of the software and its interface and whatnot. What the software does is it takes your clutch parameters, so that would be like your lever weight, your spring preload or base pressure, your stall springs, whatever, whatever configuration you have, number of discs, diameter, all of that stuff. It then takes the input from you of your dyno sheet. So you put your actual vehicle dyno sheet into it. It takes the weather data of the day if you're at the racetrack, and then it will give you an actual predicted lockup point. And we've tested it a couple times now with a couple different customer vehicles, and it's very, very accurate, specifically with the Titan clutches. And you might say, well, I don't have a Titan clutch. That doesn't work for me. I've got a Crowler or a Molinari or an East-West or whatever, right? Well, it works for you too. So one of the features of the software is you can put a data log backwards into the software. You can take your race pack data, your fuel tech data, your engine RPM versus drive shaft RPM, and import it into the software. When you do that, it then overlays your measured data with the predicted data. And if you don't have any predicted data yet, it just pulls it in. And then you can have the software automatically calculate a clamping pressure per gram per RPM value for you. That is the fundamentals of the algorithm and what the algorithm uses. Then you put your clutch's parameters in and your engine's dyno sheet in, and it will calculate that number for you, and then you can use the software just as if you had a Titan clutch, because our physics model, although dialed in for a Titan clutch, will work for any clutch as long as you have that number, that parameter, that clamping force per gram per RPM. And that is the fundamental of how the software works. There are a lot of other factors and a lot of other features that we are that are in the software already, but we are also working on implementing as well. It is a non-internet connected software, so once you download it and enter the software key, it is yours for a period of time. It is there's going to be several different tiers. We're going to offer a subscription model, as well as when you buy a Titan clutch, you're going to get a license of the software for yourself. We're also working on a phone app version of it. It's not quite there yet, but it's very close, and you'll be able to sync the phone with the computer data. So let's say you forget your computer at home and you're out at the racetrack and you're like, oh crap, I got to check this. Or you are up at the starting line and want to make a quick check because the weather data changed, and you can make that change on the fly, look at what it's going to do, and then be able to know at least how the car should or shouldn't perform. So what this software does, it gives you a prediction of what the clutch is going to do based upon your engine's performance data at the racetrack right now. It takes the weather data and the dyno sheet and makes a horsepower correction for you in the software, and then overlays that with the clutch performance. Then on top of that, it will give you a graph that shows you the slip percentage and the curve, the engine and the engine and clutch RPM all the way through the RPM range, and give you a lockup point when the clutch goes 1-to-1 with the engine. It gives you the ability to store historical data, so you can have multiple vehicles, multiple clutch setups, and then store the data, the weather data and the clutch setup data, all with that information, your car, your vehicle, your setup, the clutch information, etc. Then you can also import, like I said, you can import your data log into the clutch manager, and you can overlay that and look at any differences between what was predicted and what was actually read, and you can save that with the data as well. On top of that, you will be able to recall that data up at any given time, and you also can do run data too. So you can do, if it's a drag race, you can do an ET slip, time of day, track location, etc. You can bring any of that data up at any given time and cross-reference that with another data set. So if you wanted to either compare data, or you wanted to bring the old one up to compare the current time of day. So this isn't just a clutch program or clutch prediction software. This is a clutch management software. And depending on what tier you buy, opens up certain features depending on what you may or may not need. And we are also working on getting some more and more advanced features coming out, like an actual ET prediction and a run prediction where it'll show you where your shift points are based on your gear ratios and tire size, etc. It'll give you an actual ET prediction based on those factors and your engine dyno sheet and the weather and all of those things. So it's a very comprehensive software, and it is a great tool for anybody looking to up their game that uses a clutch, and whether that's truck pulling, tractor pulling, drag racing, etc. Any kind of thing that relies on a known location where your clutch is performing when you're using a clutch. This software is a great tool for you. It will. So, like I said, this is something new to the market as far as we understand. This is something that's never been done before. We're very excited about it. We're very excited to release it to the public. It is designed specifically to work, obviously, with our Titan clutches, but also will work with any other brand of clutch as long as you have a data log, a dyno sheet, and your setup parameters. So if you have a slipper clutch and you know what your spring rate is of your stall springs and how many of them you've got, you put that in there. If you have weight on your levers, you know how much it is, you put that in there and how many levers you're running, whether it's 3 or 6 or 9 or whatever. And then you put your dyno sheet in, and then you put your your weather data, and then you put your data log back into it. Once you do all of that, you can have it automatically calculate for you the parameter that it will use to do all the math in the future to be able to do predictions for you. So again, not just a Titan product. This is something for every clutch brand out there. If you have a clutch in a vehicle, you can make use of this software. Appreciate it, guys. Go take a look at www.drewbuilt.com and go check it out.